Hello students of 10th standard. We have started the lesson that is nothing but from your section B, that is lesson number 2, life processes in living organism part first. Before this I want to tell one information for you. Whatever the part that is remained from lesson number 5th, that will be taken after this lesson. So today we will start with this lesson. So what is there? See, yesterday we have seen what is meant by the foodstuffs or the nutrients. So what does it that it tells us that for digestion we take the various types of the nutrients. These nutrients are nothing but carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals and fibers. We take this. Why we take this? Because we need energy to carry out the various functions of the body. Each and every cell needs the energy to carry out its function. So, the nutrients are necessary for the formation of the energy. Now, this energy whichever is produced or the nutrients whichever we take inside our body, they are transferred from one cell to the another cell with the help of the blood. That also yesterday we have seen. Then yesterday also we have seen that what is meant by a balanced diet. Why we want to eat the balanced diet? We want to eat the balanced diet because it is more important for our body to get the energy. And if we have the balanced diet, then and then only we will get the full form of energy, and we know that energy is needed to do the various functions of the body, and therefore we need the balanced diet. In the balanced diet, you may take the carbohydrates, the proteins, the fats, the vitamins, minerals and fibers. That means your balanced diet should contain the carbohydrate, proteins, or you can say vitamins and fats. So this is necessary. So what you have to do? Not only you have to take these nutrients, but these nutrients you have to take in a right proportion. Whenever you are taking it in a right proportion, then and then only you will have a balanced diet. And this balanced diet is necessary for forming the energy. And if energy is supplied to each and every cell of the body, then and then only this cell works, or you can say this cell form their group, or tissues are formed, then organs are formed, then organ system is formed, and various types of the organs then work because of the only energy. Today the next question that we are going to see is nothing but which different functions are performed by the muscles in the body. So what I have told you, that there are cells, tissues, organ system in the body. Similarly, there are also muscles in our body. These muscles are very helpful for doing the movement. So what happens whenever we do the movement? So various things, if we want to do work, we want to run, we want to walk, we want to talk, we want to pick something, we want to throw something. For all these things we need the muscles. So muscles are also very important in our body. So what does this question tells you? See, which different functions are performed by the muscles in the body? So there are muscles in the body, and which functions they are performing in our body? This is the question. So what does this question tells us, or what is the answer of this question? See here, there are three types of the muscles in our body. What are they? There are three types of muscles. That means in all, three muscles are playing their important role in our body. They are, which are they? See here, first one is voluntary muscles, second one is involuntary muscles, third are cardiac muscles. These three muscles are playing, or whatever the movement of the body is there, complete movement of the body or complete movement of the organs is done by these three muscles. So these three muscles are very important in case of our life. Now, what actually these muscles do, or what is their work, or what is their function in case of our body? Each and every muscle is having its own function. it is performing its function very well. So only our all activities are going on. So what functions do they perform? That we are going to see. See here, voluntary muscles bring about all movements according to our will. What does this mean? The sentence tells us the voluntary muscles bring about all movements according to our will. See here, the most important line, or you can say movements according to our will. Means what? Whatever if we say, if you are walking, if you are running, if you are talking, if you are picking something, and if you tell the muscles or your mind makes up that we should not do this work. What does this sentence tells us? See that movements according to our will. That means whenever we are talking, whenever we are speaking, whenever we are walking, all these muscles you can say turn or they work according to our will. So these are nothing but the voluntary muscles which are working around according to us. So how are they? They are striated muscles. That means they are having striations, they are having bands in them. White and black bands are there in them. Then they are unbranched, or you can, they are branched. They are, you can say, nucleated. So such types of things. And you can say these voluntary muscles, they are attached to the, you can say, skeleton or bone. Therefore, they are also called as a skeletal muscles. And as they are having the striations, they are also called as a striated muscles. Next comes, see here, bring about the vital activities of the body. What brings the vital activities of the body? The voluntary muscles brings the activities of the body. The visceral organs are under the control of involuntary muscles. Now what does this word tells us? This word tells us that visceral means what? The important organs. Important organs like stomach, liver, then again you can say heart, or any other organs which are not under our will. Means they are not stopping. If we say stop to it, they are working throughout our life. Such organs are called as a visceral organs. And they are controlled under the, you can say, involuntary muscles. That means these muscles are continuously performing their, you can say, function. They are not stopping at any time. Whenever we die, at that time only the working of this involuntary muscle gets stopped. These are non-striated muscles and non-skeletal muscles also. These are also called as a non-skeletal muscles and non-striated muscles. As they are not attached to bones, they are called as a non-skeletal muscles, and as they are not having striations, they are called as a, you can say, non-striated muscles. Next comes the cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle has the control movements of the heart. That means all the movements of the heart, this is very important. The movements of the heart is done through the cardiac muscles. That means over the, you can say, heart, there is a control of the cardiac muscles. These muscles are working continuously throughout the life and they stop only when we die. Such types of muscles are called as a cardiac muscles and which are present in the heart and they do the movements of the heart. Let's see. Carbohydrates and proteins are stored in the muscles. What are stored in the muscles? Carbohydrates and proteins. They are stored into the muscle. What does this line tell us? Carbohydrate gives us energy. So, to do the work of the muscles or muscles to do the work, they need a energy and this is provided by the, you can say, carbohydrates. Then comes the protein. Protein act as a building material. So, to build the muscles, we need the protein. See, these all are stored into the muscles. Next question is, what is the importance of digestive juices in the digestive see that number of food particles, whatever we take inside our body as a nutrient, they are digested with the help of a digestive juice. Now, what does this digestive juice contains? Or what is the importance of this digestive juice in the digestive system? The digestive juice contains the various types of enzymes. See here, digestive juice contains various types of enzymes. Here the enzymes act as a catalyst, means they are not actually taking part into the chemical reaction, but they support the chemical reaction, or you can say here digestive system. Now see, enzyme acts as a catalyst and bring about the chemical reaction. So what it is doing? It acts as a catalyst and it acts as a chemical, or it takes out about the chemical reaction in a faster space. That means it speeds up the reaction, but it is not actually taking part into the reaction. The digestive juices of stomach make the pH of digestive tract acidic. This is very important. What does it tells you? That whenever the food enters the stomach, it is converted into an acidic medium. Why it is converted into an acidic medium? Because there is presence of HCl into the stomach. And whenever the food goes into the stomach, it is, you can say, mixed with the HCl, and therefore the food is made acidic. Okay? Therefore the pH of the digestive tract is acidic, while that of the intestinal juice. So whenever it enters in the intestine, what it becomes? Here it is given as alkaline. So whenever this food after the stomach enters into the intestinal juices act on this, and whenever they act on this, they convert the medium of acidic into alkaline pH. So this is more important. The next question is, which system is in action for removal of a waste material produced in human body? Now, the answer is excretory system. What does this excretory system does? The excretory system removes the nitrogenous waste materials from our bodies, because these nitrogenous materials are very hazardous to our body. They are nothing but urea, uric acid and ammonia, and if they get accumulated in our body, we may suffer from a kidney failure, or the kidneys may get damaged. So therefore it is a most important factor that this nitrogenous waste should be removed from the body, and they are removed by the excretory system.